Hold on 1 minute. I need a drink of coffee. Now, as promised, this video is on angels. Have you ever encountered an angel in your life? Do you know that angels are all around us? They are among us today. Now, with so much going on today, and we're seeing current world events lining up with Bible prophecy. I'm a watchman. We have many watchmen. And we report back what we find. Angels do exist. I've seen them. And I'm going to tell my story in just about 2 minutes. Angels are all around. Our Father sends them here to protect us, to guide us. But we have to be very careful what comes out of our mouth. Because in a sense, God's angels that are among us, and they are here, are like watchmen, only they report back to Father every word that comes from our mouth. I'm going to tell my experience with angels in just a minute here. Then I want you to leave me comments. I want to hear your experience, your true experience with angels. I want to talk about my grandmother for a moment, and I think I need to do a video. I don't have time today on my grandmother. She, and I think you'll understand why I get so passionate with videos coming out about prophecy, giving prophecy. God gave my grandmother many, many gifts, and I think I need to do a video on her. She was a true woman that God found favor in. And I think it'll explain why I get so passionate when it comes to Bible prophecy. And I also want to do a video on an event that took place in my life. My mother had just recently passed away, and it was 1965. Something that happened to me in church, and I remember like it was yesterday, the events leading up to it. I remember partially coming to, and I was outside on the grass of the church, and the entire congregation was around me. And I remember the gurney and the ambulance there and the ride to the hospital. I'm going to talk about that. And if you'd like to hear these stories in another video, true stories. Now I'm going to tell you my experience with angels. And believe me, they are all around. They are here. They are here, and right this moment as I'm speaking. A lot of times I can feel the presence of the Holy Spirit, or I can also feel the angel next to me. And at these times I don't physically see the angel, but there has been times in my life that I have physically seen an angel manifest before me. And if you're ready, I'm going to tell my story. The first story I told you, it was in a video last year, but I'm just going to refresh your memory. I didn't see an angel manifest in this experience, but I do want to explain what happened and how angels are all around us, and how we do got to be careful what we bring here, especially on YouTube. There's so many people, and such a wide range of people. We got to be careful what comes out of our mouth, because like the watchmen, the angels report back to the Father every word that proceeds from our mouth. It was 1975. My first son, David, and this is from my first marriage, was just born. Brand new baby. I was out of work. I had a car. We had no money, no food, no formula. It was January, and it was freezing cold. I lived in a suburb right outside of Detroit, Michigan. It was River Rouge. And my mother-in-law at the time lived in Detroit, and we didn't have diapers, formula, and I had no gas in my car. I was out of work. I mean, I know hard times. Believe me, Pastor Dave knows hard times his entire life. So I can relate to so many of you. I didn't know what to do. And my mother-in-law at the time said, if you can make it here, I can't drive. She couldn't drive. She was disabled. She couldn't drive. But if you can get here somehow and pray the whole way, I have enough to get you through. I'm going to give you food and enough money to get you through. And I told my wife at the time, I'm going. And she insisted on going. It's freezing. It's below zero out. And don't go. But she insisted. True story. And so she got in the car, bundled the baby up. And David, he's now grown up. He's on Facebook. So don't confuse me with my son. He's in his mid-30s now. But he's just a brand new baby. Freezing cold. So I start the old car up. The old clunker. And I get into Detroit. I'm on 4th Street in Detroit. I don't know if you're familiar with Detroit at all. And this is what's odd. Right across from Woodmere Cemetery, my car runs out of gas. And I see the gas station is lit up, and it's a block away. So I pull over to the curb across from the cemetery. I don't have any money. I don't know what I'm going to do. Now, it's too far to walk to, I can't leave the baby in the car freezing. I don't know why my ex-wife had to come. You know, I think she wanted to see her mother. That was the whole thing. Which is understandable, but not on a freezing night like that. So, I don't know what to do. Totally nothing I can do. And I prayed the whole ride there. And so quick we are. Why does this have to happen, God? It's all your fault. But I didn't do that. My grandmother raised me different than that. I didn't know what to do. I just kept praying, and I opened my trunk, and I was getting the gas can out, and headlights light up the back end of my car. So I turn around to look, and there's a black car there, brand new, a Lincoln. And the window rolls down. It's Detroit, I'm a little bit, even in the 70s, I'm a little bit leery, but it's an elderly gentleman, probably in his 80s or 90s. And what I noticed at first is their complexion. He had his wife, I believe it was his wife, in the passenger seat. She never spoke a word. Her eyes remained forward the whole time. They were white as white can be. Like very, very pale, like they'd never come out of their house. And I'm, you know, because I'm young back then. I'm a young guy. And they said, "Can I help you in some way?" I said, "Well, I'm trying to make it to my mother-in-law's house. I got the baby in the car. It's freezing." And I didn't make it. I don't have any money for gas. He says, "Get in and let me take you. It's right next door. Let me take you to the gas station. And don't worry about paying me back." But I wanted to pay him back. So I get in the car. And he drives me to the gas station, gives me money for gas. I get the gas can. I go back to my car, and their headlights are shining so I can see. So I'm putting the gas in my car. I get it in. I shut the gas door. And I turn around to thank them, and I wanted to find a way to contact them so I could pay them back. And there's a semi-truck there lighting up my car. And I'm like, "What is this?" So I walk up to the driver, the truck driver, and he says, and I say, "Sir, did you see what happened to the elderly couple in that big black car? I wanted to thank them for helping me get gas." He said, "Son, I'm going to be honest with you. I've been here the whole time. I'm the one that's been lighting up your car so you could see to put your gas in." He said, "There was no car there." True story. Happened in 1975. Now, twice in my life, I have actually seen an angel. My ex-wife and I were sitting at home. I have a dog, and the only thing I can think of at the time, I had a dog. I got her. I rescued her when she was a puppy, and I named her Rusty. And my entire life, she was right by my side. And she had gotten very old and gotten arthritis, and she had cataracts, and it's the only thing I can think of. And once in a while, I'd call her Rusty, but I always said, "That's my little one." I called her, come here, my little one." And I'm sitting there, and I see out of the corner of my eye, and I look, and manifesting from the floor, the carpet, I'm talking huge, I mean huge, all the way to the ceiling, was this kind of like whiter than white, the most radiant white you could ever imagine. It's kind of like smoky, but the white was blinding, all the way to the ceiling, and this angel was huge, and it bent. It was so big, it could have went through the ceiling, because it was kind of like a film, but it bent forward, and it said, "Take care of the little one, Dave. take care of the little one, David. And then it just kind of disintegrated. And my ex-wife at the time, you know, our mouths dropped open, and the only thing I could think of was to take care of my dog Rusty, which I did. And it wasn't long after that she had passed away. My second encounter with a real, true angel is I went through a divorce that was rougher on my children than on myself. I had no idea anything in my marriage was wrong. My children were young. My son Christopher, that made me the cross back there with the watchtower on it, he was just a baby. He was just very little. And my son Sean, he's just a little guy. And my daughter, she's all grown up now. She's a nurse, and she was very young, just starting in her teen years. And I came home from work one day, and I found them crying with a note, and their mother had told them that how much your father loves you. And she had took off, and never to see her since. So I raised my children basically by myself, a single dad. And as my daughter got older, she said, "Dad, we know how much you love us, but you got to have a life." She said, "All you do is go to work and you think about us. It's all you do is go to work and you worry about us. It's time you be happy." So she got me on the computer. Back then I didn't know what to do with the computer. I had the old style computer with a big modem, and she said, "Here." She found AOL chat room. She says, "Talk to these people, and you know, if you won't go out, maybe you'll meet somebody online." I met my wife Christy on the internet. True story. She lived a couple hours north from me, and I don't know about this. And my daughter kept pushing me. She said, "You got to have a life, Dad. You know, you've took care of us since we were little, since Mom left." And she said, "I want to see you happy." So I'm on the computer one day, and here pops in my wife Christy. A little angel figure pops up, and I'm like, oh, I knew. Wow, something magical was taking place. But I never pressed the issue, and I said, no, I'm not going to really talk to her. I'll talk to her as a friend, and we had so much in common. And then I asked my Heavenly Father one day, I said, what do I do? You know, is she the one? What do I do? And nothing happened. And about 3 days later, I'm sitting, I'm talking to her, and she had to go to work. And I'm just praying. And again, out of the corner of my eye, I look, and from the floor all the way to the ceiling, this angel was humongous. And it manifested from the bottom up, a white, filmy mist, but whiter than white. I can't even describe the whiteness. And it was a male figure, no wings, in a long white gown that I could make out. And again, it leaned forward rather than its head protruding through the ceiling, which would disappear. It leaned forward, and it put its hand on my shoulder, but I couldn't feel it. I couldn't feel anything physical on my shoulder. I just knew its hand was on my shoulder. But I could see this male manifestation of this angel. And I heard the words, she's the one. She's the one. And then quickly, just as it came, it was gone. It vanished. Those are my true stories of encounters with angels. Angels are real. They're all around us. You may not see them sometimes. Something happened in your life, you may. But believe me, they know everything about us, and they report back like a watchman. Every word that comes from our mouth. Be careful what we say. Let me hear your stories, your true stories of angels. Hope this has blessed you. God bless you. I love you.